9 or 10 unit apartment building. I'm not intend to talk about, anything like 100 plus apartment building, which is completely different topics. If you have any questions, you can talk during the meeting, or you can chat in the chat box so that I can pause and then answer your questions live. So this is a disclaimer. Basically, I'm not a lawyer or accountant, and all opinion in this presentation my own and do not constitute financial advice in any way whatsoever. And we strongly recommend if you perform your own independent research or speak with qualified investment professional before making any financial decisions. And I'm not making any guarantee or information is accurate, so you need to specific advice. Please seek professional who is licensed or knowledge in that area, like a legal advice or financial advice. Okay. So here's my background. I'm a real estate developer focusing on the residential development for last 14 years. And I manage acquisition, financial analysis, project management, marketing, and financing. And prior to my real estate career, I worked as a marketing consultant to multinational companies, including Samsung, Fujitsu, and then also I used to work for KPMG Consulting for various IT projects. And my spare times, I enjoy scuba diving, whitewater rafting, and swimming. And I'm originally from Japan and live with my husband and my daughter, based in Northern Virginia. And I do have a real estate license in DC, Maryland, Virginia, but this is mainly for investment purpose. And today's main topics is how to hire a good contractor, because it's really critical to manage a small apartment building with the contractor, because most of the times the expense of the small apartment building is a repair, and then most of the cost is hiring a light contractor. For example, I do do the rehab, condo conversions, but the condo conversions, you can hire a very expensive contractor because you are trying to make money by selling those condominiums. So you can hire the best contractor and the most expensive contractor depending on the project. But when you are trying to hire the contractor for small apartment building, you will not have a luxury to hire the best and the expensive because you just don't have a budget for it. Like for example, when you try to do the some garbage disposal has issues, and I made a mistake, calling my friend who is the developer who does rehab, and he recommend a guy who is a plumber who can fix, garbage disposal problems. And then turned out they charge me like 1,200 just for replacing garbage disposal, which is usually, if I use my handyman, it's probably like 75, 125, something like that. So it's just almost 10x. So you can't just use any contractors. You have to kind of know which contractor to use for which project. You might be doing the the rehab project or maybe even new constructions, you cannot use these contractors. You have to hire someone who knows how to, do those repair items like a plumbing, easy fix, or some putting the hole or like some issues. It's very reasonable and very quick, and then also needed to be able to work with the tenant schedule, because most of the contractors that I know, they are very busy. They don't want to talk to anyone. Maybe they want to just go to the job site and then just finish by themselves. But most of the times we have a tenant in place, so they need to make an appointment and then work with the tenant. Sometimes the tenant is not very communicative, so they might forget be there. Like when they say 9 o'clock, they might forget. So we need some contractor who is patient enough to maybe call ahead to remind them that they're coming in the 9 a.m. or if they cannot make it 9 a.m., call them to remind them that he's coming 9 a.m., but he may have to come in like a 9:30 or something. So we need someone have communication skill to be able to work with the tenant. Okay. Then how to find the good contractors? So general rule of thumb is referral from a good contractor. Usually when you have one good contractor, then you can ask who is your friend who can do electric or who can do the plumbing. So basically, if you have find a good contractor, you can always ask them to give you a referral. Second thing is meet at job site. When you are working in the area, you will see, so-and-so plumbing companies. Maybe there's a van parking in front of the job site. So you go there and try to get the telephone number or try to get the business card, So this way, they know they have a job at the area. So usually busy contractor is a good sign, and some people work there, so you don't have to have disappointment when you call, oh, I don't work in DC or I don't work in Virginia, something like that. So they're working in that locations, and they're also they're in demand because they are working on a job site. And then also ask other investors. So naturally, if you have a network, you network with other investor who has a similar building. Like I have a 9-unit apartment building, and I know people who has a 9-unit apartment building in that area. So I network with other investor and ask them who they use. And then of course, they don't usually refer the bad contractor because it doesn't reflect good on them. So network with other investor who has a similar building so that you can, get the name of the good contractor to work with you. And then also, if you don't have any network or anyone, then the last result is you can always try to get the some back, which is you can install the app in your phones, and then they kind of matchmaking with you or the contractor in the area. And they usually have a good response because if they don't respond, they're just gonna lose the lead. So they usually good responding like in a couple hours. And then Yelp or other website. So those are the way to find the good contractors. If you have any questions, you can go ahead to send in the chat, or you can actually talk, think, please let me know. Otherwise, I'm keep going to next slide. Once you find some few contractor that you may be able to work, next step is vetting process. Is a contractor license. Usually, you can look up your state website. I think Department of the Labor or something like there's a usually licensing agent or department of your state. So look up their names and then see their license status is active. And is the contractor insured? If the contractor injured in your site, the insurance from the contractor should cover, not yours. So is the contractor insured? It's very critical. And then is the contractor bonded? For some reason, the contractor cannot perform to finish the job, or contractor failed to get the permit, or any reason, the contractor bond company can provide you the damage. So check to see if the contractor is bonded as well. And then I usually do to obtain the 3 live references. I don't really trust the review on the online because I think anyone can actually put the review online. So I usually try to get the 3 telephone numbers so that I can actually talk to them and then see the experience with the contractor. So I think the red flag for me is someone tell me like, oh, so-and-so went to, kind of hiding, then he couldn't really communicate with me at the time or something like that. I think the communication is key for me. So if the contractor just decide not to communicate with me like a couple of weeks or something like that happened, I really cannot work with them. So try to see if you get the feeling for how the contractor work, communicate, and finish the job on times, on budget, with the quality you're looking for, and then find out if that's a good fit or not. And then lastly, check the current job site with the home inspector and verify the quality of the job. So this way, maybe you cannot tell the good paint job or some kind of job, but if you do, inspection with your home inspector, you probably have to pay some, hourly fee or something, work with your home inspector, and then you can check the quality of the job so that you can ensure he or she does a good job, or the job that you're looking for. And if you have any questions, please go ahead to put in chat box. And I think you can, anyone can ask a question live. Okay. Next, when you do the little bit complicated job, like I just did the replacement of all the sewage pipeline, which costs around 50,000 for this 9-unit apartment building. So it's really critical to define the scope of work. So initially, the scope of work was just replacing the sewage line, the main line, but it's extended to from the plumbing at the bathtub, and then plumbing from the toilet to the main also. But sometimes those scope of work can get lost. So it's best to really write down, and then, you know, you want to be in the same page with the contractors. And then you assume they're going to take the trash with them. Even I put in the scope of work that the contractor needs to remove the debris. I think that they just maybe put a little bit on the street or something. And then, of course, you know, you get fined for those construction debris. So make sure you define the scope of work very, very clearly and then carefully. And then create a contract. Like I mentioned, who will clean the job site after the job is finished. It's really kind of critical to create a contract and along with scope work. If you can really want to make sure you can also get the someone to draft a layout or anything like that, so that you can maybe crystal clear that, you know, where's the locations, what's, you know, the outcome and something like that. If the project is more complicated than just fixing a toilet or fixing something very minor. And then if you put the penalty fee for delay caused by the contractors, you may be able to, you know, enforce that, you know, the contractor finish on times. So otherwise, they don't really have a motivation to finish on time. And then for the rental, it's really critical to, you know, make those repairs as short as possible, because basically, if the project take longer, then you can't rent the unit, so you are losing the monies every day. So even like, you know, maybe you don't worry about a day or two, but I think it's best to pressure the contractor to finish on time. And if you have any questions, go ahead to ask in the chat, checking to see if any questions. See. Or you can ask questions live. I think you should be able to talk. See. I think I went all the bidding process, contracting process, and then the join the project. Trust but verify. Basically, even you know this contractor, you know, long times. Maybe you know, they start cutting corners or doing a shortcut, something like that. So trust but verify. It's best to go there to check, but basically every time you should ask before and after picture so that you can tell they really finish. Even they send me the pictures, make sure occasionally go to the unit that they repairs and make sure that all the locations are repairs with your, with quality work. And then stick to draw schedule. If you have a little bit bigger project, you usually have a draw schedule to draw, like, first payment, second payment, third payment, fourth payment. And then usually you should agree to, like, if you finish maybe roughing, I can give you, 25%. And then if you have all the, like a floor dance, and then this is another, 25%, something like that. So stick to the raw schedule and do not give the money until they finish as you agree with them. They usually said, oh, I need this money to finish or something. Do not give the money. Stick to the raw schedule. And otherwise, you will regret that you put more money out than it's already finished. And sometimes the contractor walk away, and then you have to hire a second person, and then you already spend 80% of the budget for the 50% work. So to avoid those things, you need to stick to a draw schedule of your project. And then if it's a little bit complicated, you can also hire third-party inspections so that someone who knows what needs to be done be able to tell if the work is, finished according to the code and with the quality of the work. If you have more bigger project, I think it's probably, worthwhile to pay someone to do the inspections. And then, sometimes the contractor said, oh, you don't know anything, so this is finished. And then sometimes you can't tell, maybe he's right because I'm the contractor. But when you have third-party inspector, tell them this is not up to the code or this is not finished at all, then you have some, leverage to speak to them, to the contractors. And then lastly, I'm probably repeating so many times, but make sure they take out all debris and the work waste, because the fine for those debris is very, very expensive. So please make sure that they take out those debris and the work waste. It's very expensive, fines expensive, and then sometimes never call, whatever the agency. So it's best to include in the contract. And then in between, you should tell them, make sure that all the debris and the work waste is, removed from the work site. And I think that's the main topics for how to hire good contractors, how to vet during the project, and then, how to check during the project. And next one is a Q&A. If you have any questions about how to find and hire the good contractor for your small apartment building, please text me any questions at this time. Okay. Teddy, do you have any questions?
No, I'm good. You've explained it well.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think small apartment building, it's very, very hard to make monies. And then if the repair cost is too high, you just start losing money. So that's very, very critical to hire a good contractor for your rentals, and then make sure he or she is happy to work with you. If you go too cheap, they just don't want to work with you. But you can't afford the very expensive contractor for the small apartment.
That was my understanding too.
Yeah. So if the investor in the area who has those buildings, it's best to approach them and then see who they are using and who they are working.
Good advice.
And this is kind of last page of my presentations, and then I put my contact information there. So free to reach out, email, my numbers there. And then I think, do you have any preference for the topics, future topics?
Nothing specific. I was just looking for general information.
Oh, I see. Do you have already like a small apartment building or?
Well, I'm just now getting into the small apartment space. So.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's best to actually talk to the people who has the apartment building, small apartment building, because sometimes there's a sweet spot. Like it could be two, duplex is a sweet spot, or four unit is sweet spot. 9 unit or 10, is a sweet spot. So it's best to talk to the people who own those buildings, and then find out what's the best locations, and then what's the best unit. Because I do have a 9 unit, and it's really like the numbers very difficult to work with, but my 4 unit is doing very, very well. So I feel like I should have talked to the people on like 9 or 10 units before I purchase. So I highly recommend that you talk to people who own the area, and then see what's their experience, look like. So that's my recommendations.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome. So if you don't have any questions, or Lois or Michelle has any questions, I will end this webinar at this time. And then if you have any questions, you can reach out to me, email or telephone numbers. And I will do next session for I think January 11th, second week, second Tuesday of the January.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Yukiko. My name is Michelle. Nice to meet you for the first time. This is my first time in your Zoom, and I'm happy to be here. I'm just here to learn and listen, and I will return next time. I'm gonna try to go back and review some of your Zooms, because I'm unfamiliar with how all of this works. So that's why I'm here to learn more.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I think the contractor is very, very key. Like,
yes,
I hear all the times people like are crying, and then, oh, my contractor did a horrible job, and then run away. So I really wanted, kind of, ask you to pay extra attention when you're hiring a contractor.
Yes, for sure. So, thank you so much.
Yes, thank you. And then I look forward to meeting you guys next year on Tuesday.
Sure will. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas.
Happy holiday. Thank you. See you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye now.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.